Welcome to part 3 of PEB roof monitor detailing in Tekla Structures. And if I just zoom close, you can see we want to add some details here. But if you take a keen look, if you are conversant with Tekla Structures, there is very hard to find a tool that will be able to create this a cranked beam a type of connection here. If you apply the normal one, it will not be able to work. So this is advisable just to do it manually. So to do it manually, we want first of all to start marking the points that will help us in detailing it. So I'll come to points here and pick on at any position there. Then I want that point and I want that point also. So I'll mark those points as they are. And again, I'll come right here and I want to mark that point right there. So the next thing, once I've marked all those points, I'm going now to trim or chamfer this using Polygon cut. So once I use Polygon cut, or if you try use the line cut, you see PEB at a different component to just plates welded together. So in Tekla structure, if you disable the assembly part, it will be read as three components, not a single component. So this the web is a plate, the flange is a plate, and this also is a plate. So let me just go ahead and start trying to cut it off. So I'll pick this, I'll pick the part I want to cut off and move in this direction, and I'll snap on that spot, and I'm using the polygon tool to trim off this part. So I'm going to cut off that and come to that. So I've trimmed off that section. So once I've trimmed off that section, if I right click and redraw and come back and try hide this, if I come and hide this, you'll be able to see I have trimmed off this one. So there's one section that has been left out, and this one also we have to trim off. So how do you trim off this? We'll use the same points here. So I'll come to polygon cuts and select on that, and I want to use this section here by just snapping on it right there and moving all the way to that side and snap on that spot, and come here and snap on this spot right here, and I'll come back to my initial point there and click on that. So that has been trimmed off. So you have that already off, and if I redraw that, I'll have my previous member back. So another thing I'm going to do, I'm going to chamfer thereafter also, so that I'll be able to use some plates here and bolt together as a flange. So the next thing is very simple, is just to apply the same thing here. And now I'll come to polygon cut. Once again, I'm going to select the part I want to trim off, and I'm going to pick from this particular from that section, and I'm going to just flow like that and snap on that spot and move just the way it is and snap on that spot and come back to my initial position here where I started all my cutting. So you can see I've trimmed part of that, but it seems that it all has not been done well, but there's some sections remaining that has not been done. Like it has trimmed off the web, but the flanges have been left out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just right click on this, then come to hide. So if I come to hide, I'll now be able to trim off these sections here. So how do I do that? I'll come back to polygon and apply the same approach. So I'll snap on that side and snap on this side and snap on that side and move all the way. Not the best option. So let me just try rotate this. So the moment I rotate this, I'll be able to see which part to get rid of. So once we are here, and since these points now will try to bring a big challenge to us, what you're going to do is I want to transfer this point to this point here, to the edge. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick on it and come to points here. So I'm going to snap on that point. Let me just mouse over there and snap on a perpendicular point. Then transfer the same point here. This one I've created there. I'll come and take it down also. Copy a similar one downward here. So once I've marked the two, on the edge here, it's very easy. I can just come there and pick the part I want to trim off, and I begin there. You can begin from any direction. So I'll come to that spot and come to that spot and come all the way to that to my initial part, and I'll have trimmed that section. So the other part, let's see if it's necessary to remove it, and I think it's very necessary to remove it because it is an extension of part that we don't want to be seen. So let me just transfer some points there. I'll come to points there and come to at any position, and I want to transfer a point on the flange side, on the web sides. So let me snap at the edge there and transfer that point right there and move all the way to the other direction. So I'll come back to edit, then come back to Polygon and pick on that spot, and I want to turn that and turn that, come to that spot and come to that spot, and move all the way to my initial spot right there, and that would have been removed. If I right click on empty screen and click redraw, I'll have that part trimmed off and our model will be as clean as you can see. So if I come here, or let's just do this, maybe I have trimmed that, but you see there's some still bit of clashing points seems to be in place. So let me just redraw and see what can be done. Perfect. And sometimes what we can do is just once we've trimmed off like that, we can always just go ahead and weld it. So the next thing, instead of doing the same thing the opposite direction, always just come here and delete this. So once you delete that, we'll come here once again and select everything here and select that one also. So once you've selected that, take into account that your XYZ plane is on the global position. So you want to use these 2 points to copy rotate this to the other side. So let me come to special copy and pick copy rotate, and I want to use the line. So I'll use these 2 lines here to identify my line of rotation. So the moment I click my first and second line, you'll be able to see the coordinates of the origin has been registered here, and you can see how they readjusted themselves. So once I've clicked on that, I'm going to click copy. So let me click on copy, and that's where we are now. And if you take a closer look, we've lost our previous connections, but that should not be a big deal. Or we'll just bring them back. We want just to save time of trimming off by polygon cut here. So let me just first of all redraw and to make some cleanup here. So I'll come back to PEB. Let first of all do the splice connection here. So if I come to splice connection that we had that has been gotten rid of, I'm just scroll down and I should have it somewhere here. This is the splice connection. So I want to pick this, and we should have the splice connection back in place. So I'll be able to click on that and turn it around, and perfect. And that's it, the right position that we had predicted, and is supposed to be sitting right there. So let me go back and use and bring back the column rafter connection, and just click on it and we create a connection there. So let me pick that, and I want to pick the rafter as the main member, then a column as the secondary member. So that has been created. So if I come here and pick on that, we have that in place. So it seems that this connection that side is quite different with this, and we have to check on this. Let me double click on it, and once we see the settings on this particular side, I can always come and change that. So probably this is the end P1 or G1. Also, we can pick any part that suits our requirements. So let me just double click on it. So once we double click on it, we'll be able to pick on the right presets that I had created before. Now we are moving quite far, and I'm going to add some details. So we have to still add some 2-3 more minutes so that we complete this section here. So let me come back to my presets here and try to check which preset I had used there. So I'll come back to roof there and click load. So if I click load there and click modify, I will have registered or modified this using my presets, and I think I've shared those presets entry details, and I think you'll use the same to create your own. And also the advantage of this is the whole file will be available, and you can open it in Tekla Structures 2010. Now, once that has been done, I'm going to close this. And now the connection that is remaining, I'll assume that once we chamfer this, I would prefer just create a weld, just to weld the two components, because this will be carried separately and be bolted to that. This will be carried separately and be bolted to that. This will be bolted to the apex, to the ridge beam here, and that's how it will be done. Now let me just scroll down, and I want to create some connection here, and that connection will be this. I want to connect this and this. So if I create connection there and double click on the same connection, and once I double click on it, I'll be able to get this dialog box of end plate connection, and I want to use the B00 as my preset. And if I click modify, it will be readjusted, and I'll be able to get exactly what I wanted to see for that particular connection. Even apart from that, I'll be able to display the exact entries or numbers that I had used to come up with such connection. So if I just leave it at where it is, if I end up under on the four tabs, if I pick on the picture tab, you can see the entries that I had picked and the options here that I had picked. And if I come to bolts, you can see the bolts arrangement. Don't worry about the number of decimals. They have nothing to do with the complete or the accurate value of the same number. Just those can be reduced under settings there. So if I come to parts there, you can see the width of the base plate is that, and the thickness is 8 millimeter. If I come to stiffeners, you don't need any stiffeners there. So if you take a look on those entries, you can apply and do the same thing on your project. So the advantage, once again, I'll repeat, this model will be available for exercises. So let me just pick on this and pick on that, and I'll be able to get that. So I'll assume this side is complete. And once we had created that chamfer, this option 1, you flange, you end plate connection, maybe end plate connection, or just a direct weld. A direct weld is much better. I don't prefer that. So we just leave it as it is, because now this is self-explanatory. You can apply the weld there. We have the weld tools there. Like if I come to 85 there, I'll be able to have a weld tool here. Let me just scroll down, and you can pick stanchion weld and pick the part you want to weld. So that has been welded. So if I pick this and that has been welded together. So it's part. So if I right click and come to redraw, and if I redraw that, you can see that has been welded together. So if we generate a drawing, this will be read as an assembly, and this as assembly, and be joined together here at the apex. So the part remaining, just to populate this to the full length of our structure. So let me then on the last part of the same topic of PEB roof monitor detailing in Tekla Structures. So let me then bye bye.